Hello, it's Crystal here from Goddess Reawakening, and today I want to share a story with you that has to do with personal boundaries and beliefs. As you may know or may not know, I am still breastfeeding my 3-year-old daughter, and in recent times I've really started feeling annoyed with it that she, every time she is upset, she wants Booby to have safety, and at night she's still breastfeeding, and in the early hours of the morning she is waking up and wanting her Booby so that she can go back to sleep, sometimes as often as every half an hour, every 10 minutes, or it just got so much. On top of that, I started having a bite wound, and it was hurting every single time she was feeding. And so I was checking in and tuning in and thinking, okay, so why am I manifesting this? Why am I manifesting a bite wound that's not healing? Why am I manifesting her sucking harder? And I realized it's because a part of me I just wanted my body back. Part of me was feeling undernourished as well. I've had a very busy period in my life, so I was not enough in my divine feminine energy and very much in the doing. So my inner well was not full. So constantly giving something that is not actually there. Yes, it is still there in terms of the milk, but energetically I felt depleted on some level. And so it was becoming an effort to give to her that which I did not have. So therefore I created slower lactation, and I created a bite wound because I didn't want to give her the Booby. So she could obviously sense that, and as a result was sucking harder, which created the bite wound in the first place. Now, every woman I have spoken to about this is saying, well, you're teaching her that it's okay to abuse the boundaries of other people. Saying, you need to become a role model and stand up for it and say enough is enough. I need my body back for myself now, and you just need to find another way of getting that comfort. But I knew deep inside of my heart and in my knowing that that was not the answer. I knew, and I had made a commitment to myself to let her make the decision when she wanted to wean herself off. Just like I'd allowed her to make the decision as a baby when she wanted to be fed, when she wanted to sleep, and held her and given her that comfort and that security that we call attachment parenting. So teaching her to really listen to her own body, to her own innate knowing of what is good for her and what is right for her. As a result, she is very opinionated. She's not opinionated, but she knows exactly what she wants, which is such a good quality to see. She's very outgoing, very confident, because she has had that nourishing, that nurturing, which so many people believe is a spoiling of people. They need to learn that they can't always have that, and yet in fact it is the very thing that's making the base chakra so strong. In the first 5 years of development, it is the base chakra that is being created. And if children do not have that safety, if they're not feeling that they have that security at all times and it is their choice, for whatever reason that is taken away, that imprints a pattern of a lack of internal safety and that chasing of the external safety forever and a day. This is why we live in a society that can be controlled. This is why we live in a society that is depending on that external validation, that external safety through jobs, etc. We've got it so wrong. We are putting value on making money, whereas money is an illusion. The only safety that we have is inside of ourselves. That job can go at any moment, So the only safety we have is within ourselves, and that's what I'm giving my daughter. So when I heard people saying, well, but you're also teaching her that it's okay to overstep boundaries, I was tuning in and I was thinking, yes, that's what I'm teaching her right now. But because I know that our thoughts and beliefs create our reality, I was tuning in what I was believing, what I was thinking about. And what I was thinking about is that, well, I need more space. I haven't got anything left to give. So I started giving myself so that I could give her again. I started doing this beautiful breast massage through a course I'm doing, and really just giving my breasts the love that they needed, that they were soaking up, and as a result they were letting go of all that resentment. They were letting go of all of that, and I felt nauseous because energetically I was clearing out. And I also reprogrammed myself. I set myself that intention that the time that I have with her while she is breastfeeding is going to be the way it's intended to be. It's going to be a time of connection. It's not going to be a time of inconvenience. And so resetting my beliefs around that and giving myself what I needed to have my inner well, my love for myself full again, my breasts feeling loved and nourished. The bite wound that hadn't been healing for over 3 weeks or so healed within 24 hours. Tara, as a result, was not sucking so hard anymore because she felt held, she felt nourished emotionally as well as from the breast milk. So she started sucking less. I trained her and said to her, just give Mummy's baby a kiss first so you can really express the gratitude that you are having this time. And so that's what she was doing, and it just was so beautiful. And my whole relationship to breastfeeding has completely transformed. So when we are in that, so that the message, the thing that I want to share around this, the wisdom that I've gained from this is that when we are in that feeling of lack, where we are feeling we need to create boundaries, let's just tune into what we are lacking inside and how we can fill that up, so that we don't need to set boundaries from a disempowered, wounded, feminine state of being, but instead we can step back into our divine self, into the fullness of who we are, and from that place interact, from that place negotiate, but not from a place of fear. And that's what I'm seeing in the world so much. When a woman is disempowered, when she goes into her wounded self because something doesn't go her way, she shuts down and she communicates from a demanding place, from a selfish space, not from a space of the highest good for all concerned, but from a selfish space. And that's what the women were giving me advice on. Go and be selfish. Go and look after yourself, because what are you teaching your daughter? Well, I looked after myself in a completely different way, creating that win-win relationship. So the question that I want to ask you is, when you're getting triggered, when things are getting too much for you, when stuff is not going your way, especially with a loved one, with your partner, with your kids, how can you empower yourself? How can you stop interacting and demanding perhaps from that disempowered state? How can you nourish yourself first? Find your old fullness, your own completeness first, before you can then bring that theme, that subject, whatever was triggering you into the space. Like, I've trained myself, for example, that instead of reacting when I get triggered, which does still happen occasionally, to then say, first and foremost, to own it. I'm being triggered right now. Can I talk about it? It changes the energy, because it means that I do not go into attack. I do not go into blame. I own my shit. And in owning it, whoosh, it dissolves. We talk about it and everything changes. So I invite you to own your stuff. Own it with your partner, own it with your kids. You do not have to be perfect. If you're feeling that your ego is wanting you to be in that place of perfection, of getting it right all the time, then you are setting yourself up to fail. And I have experienced that as well. You know, we are not perfect. If we're being the role models to our kids, tell them, yeah, Mommy got angry because of this. And that's not on. Let me just get myself back together. I should not let it take it out on you. That is unacceptable behavior. So owning it, giving them a cuddle, giving your partner a cuddle, giving, your friends, whatever it is, in whichever circumstance you're getting triggered, own it. it will dissolve, it will transmute. Don't stay in it. You don't have to. By claiming it, by seeing it, by owning it, it can dissolve. If your ego kicks in and wants to defend you, wants to keep you safe, wants to make you right, we're going to end up in this wounded cycle that is not serving anyone. So to conclude this video, what I'm inviting you to do is to reflect on when you are going into your wounded feminine, when you are going into reaction, and to not act from that place. Instead, to own your triggers, to own the fact that you're being triggered, and watch the open space, the willingness to engage that comes from that, especially with a male partner, especially with your children. You'll be amazed how they suddenly come towards you and might even give you a hug or a cuddle. So allow yourself to be seen in that. Don't try to allow the ego to defend you in that, to make you right, to protect you, to pretend nothing is wrong, because that's not going to solve anything. And let me tell you, I speak from experience here. So instead, own it and deal with it in that way. Or if you can, go nourish yourself, give yourself that which you need to release that trigger, get back into your center, get back into your divine feminine, and then debrief on what happened from that place. Because from the place of the divine feminine, people will want to listen to you. People will want to hear what you have to say, because you're not blaming them, you're owning your truth, you're owning your vulnerability, your triggers, and from that place magic can happen. So be courageous, be authentic, and act and live from that place.